Yeah. On today's Minute of the Apes, it's not just the pets. It's also...
And Leon's getting larger. And...
Sorry, so late.
Okay. Now.
Take your sticking paws off me, damn dirty ape! Exercise with an ape maker, human down. Then talks. Working with the divine bound. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. They are the good humans, it's a dead human! And if it is man's destiny one day to be dominated, then, oh, please, God, let him be dominated by such as you.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, a daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time. Kicking off the show, that was Richard doing the sound effects. He was ready. He was cued.
Oh, he worked so hard on that.
I know.
You
It's from
rocked
Airplane,
it.
guys. If you missed the reference, it's from Airplane. And it's relevant to this minute, kinda.
Yeah, it is.
Kinda.
All right, so we're at minute 8. Sean, do you want to tell us what's going on with minute 8?
No, I'm good. What's up?
Not fine.
Sean, will you please tell us?
All right. We start minute 8 with the shocked chimp picking up the fallen packages and ends with Armando saying pets became larger and larger.
All right, let's take a listen to this very large minute of Conquest of the Planet of the Apes.
Go! You go! But you said humans treated apes like pets.
They did, in the beginning.
They've made slaves of them.
They all died within a few months, 8 years ago. Every dog and cat in the world. It was like a plague. The disease that killed them was a mysterious virus brought back from outer space by one of the astronauts.
Didn't the disease affect humans?
No, we were immune. And so it was discovered we're simians, even the smallest ones. That's how it began. Humans wanting little household pets to replace the ones they had lost. Then when people realized how quick they were to learn, how easy to train, the pets became larger and larger.
As a minute 8, we got a courtyard worth of gorillas, chimpanzees, and orangutans, Milo, a.k.a. Caesar, and a planet's worth of humans.
So this minute exemplifies 100% what I was talking about on the staircase leading to the elevator of talking with others around. I know there's no one in close proximity, but are they not taking a huge risk, even for Armando just to be talking to him beyond the come here ape?
Yeah.
Is this not pretty stupid?
I would agree, yeah.
I agree, yeah. I mean, the shocked ape is kind of whittled away, and that's when we get, Caesar asking, it says in a hoarse whisper, you said humans are treated the apes like pets. And Armando says they did in the beginning. They have made slaves of them, Caesar kind of anoints. But at this point, they're still in the middle of the shopping center. But we're getting this kind of exposition, or this conversation between Caesar and Armando that's happening out in the open. It's not, starts off hushed, but then moves to kind of very obvious.
Yeah, my note is, so Milo's confused about the human-ape relationship. Has he really been sequestered for 20 years, completely cut off from media, TV, radio? Armando hasn't told him anything about this? This is the first time he's figuring this out?
Well, I think that Armando probably sheltered him for intentional reasons. He didn't want him to get hurt. And there's also the difference of you've been told it and you see it.
Okay,
when you
I can see that.
When you begin to see the shock, not just of the way they're treated, but they look like you.
But they're stupid.
Every other ape you've seen, though, has been locked in a cage, probably within a circus, and now you're seeing them out there
wearing clothes
and having to do forced labor type things.
And when we see the horror of what's happening around him to the apes, and then we also see the horror of that terrible statue of the dog and the cat.
Oh well, yeah.
That in memorandum.
Oh my God, that is the worst statue.
That's a bad prop. That is a super bad prop.
Let's do the math here real quick. 1983. I'm 11 years old. All right.
Okay.
You're
I'd have
what,
been
like
16.
30, 40, something like that?
And fuck off. There's my first F-bomb for the whole thing. Fuck off,
I
Sean.
was 13.
I was 16.
All cats and dogs die. They make a statue for Rover. Mm-hmm. But fuck them damn cats, right?
Okay, so
No, the cat's on there.
The cat's
It
on
just
there, but
doesn't have it's unnamed because cats shall go nameless.
Right.
I guess so. So
That cat doesn't get a name. That's what I'm saying.
Rover. How
Rover
obvious
and-
was that?
Yeah.
Rover.
so
Spot.
They just should have called him Jim
Dog.
or Mark.
it. Spot.
Calvin.
Wait, I already said
Calvin.
Spot.
Did you say Spot?
Yes.
I didn't hear that. So
Woofer.
the statue. Was that an entire thing? And hear me out with this whole question because I know what you'll go. Yeah, was the entire thing built for the movie, or was the monolith part that sticks up part of something else that they went, hey, if we put them in memoriam on the back of this and shove a couple of dogs and cat crap statues up here, that it could look like it?
I think they made the whole thing.
I can't figure it out because who could look at that crap on top of it and say that looks good?
It was intended to be there. Yeah. No, it's a rush job. I mean, but
It's awful.
But it drives home the point
It does.
of what they're trying to do. An Armando gives the exposition. They all died within a few months. The script says 9 years ago. The in memorandum says 1983. So they changed the dialogue to have 8 years ago because that's the math on their thing. Every dog and cat in the world, it was like a plague. The disease that killed them was a mysterious virus brought back from outer space. Well, that's just it. Brought back from outer space by one of the astronauts. Okay, so the only astronauts that have been discussed at this point are the apenauts. So is the suggestion that it was a circular scenario from the future coming to the past, creating the problem of the future? Not just with Caesar, but also with the disease that wiped out the pets? Or are we supposed to take that it's just any astronaut that brought the disease back? I thought it was the other one first.
I think it's any astronaut because this is the 70s, that it's actually written and shot in. We are still at this point going into outer space. We have not quit going to the moon because 69 is when we first landed on the moon. So we're still doing an Apollo mission. So going into space is prescient in people's minds. So I think they're not talking about the apes coming back from the future. They're talking about man going into space, coming back, bringing the disease that kills all.
And I kind of took
pets.
that. I took it that way too. That it was more of a generic type term, and it wasn't this cycle of this
It's not
shit
a loop,
happened
yeah.
here. You know.
But I
it's-
love that sci-fi concept.
It could be there,
I love
potentially.
the
Oh, I do
sci-fi
too.
concept that
You cause
man
your own
destroys
problem.
themselves, and they cause their own problems by killing the astronauts that brought back the disease that killed the pets.
I love it when you watch science fiction and it's a simple explanation for what has occurred. That's the best because you don't have to think it through. It's not some weird plague that did this and people mutated into this. It's just simple. I don't think you have to have the fucking statue at all to tell this story.
To remember pets from 10 years
Because
ago.
how convenient is your script that when you're talking to your chimp that can talk, that you happen upon the in memoriam statue when you're deciding to tell the story of what happened? Too cutesy, convenient, and then it looks literally like somebody went and got the dog and cat from Sears and Roebuck and stuck them on the top of it and did a couple of boxes to make it mention, and they forgot to put the goddamn cat name on it.
there, yeah.
Okay, doesn't Caesar already know all of this history?
Yeah,
He
that's what I'm
should.
saying.
Caesar should already know this history.
Once
So-
again, this should be that whole thing where they're telling each other what they know instead of him informing him.
So they dropped the
Yeah,
line.
it would be one thing where Armando. Sorry to cut you off.
ahead.
Armando starts talking, and then Caesar can cut him off. Yes, I know about the pets dying and everything else, and now apes are now pets.
Or maybe that draws him to the statue. Maybe he's the one because he's
not seen a dog
And
before.
is that a dog? Yes.
Or
You know,
I
They would have a dog.
I haven't seen.
circus,
I haven't
wouldn't
seen.
they?
all of
No,
them
they're
are
dead.
All of them are dead.
But Caesar would have seen a dog.
Well, no, that's
9
why.
years ago. He
Well,
would have
that's
been
when
11.
Caesar goes up to the statue. I haven't seen a dog in 10 years.
All right, and he explains that they're all dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
there are ways to do it.
This reminds me of the dog we used to have, or something like that.
It isn't awful. It's just, again, the statue is awful. The convenience of it is too convenient.
Right.
It's so forced. It is literally like, oh, look, we're going to stop and tell you history.
Speaking of dog, There goes Nala.
Was that Nala?
Yeah, over there.
So Armando says no, they were immune, and so it was discovered were simians, even the smallest ones. That would began humans wanting to replace household pets to replace the ones they had lost. And one of the lines that was dropped.
You're not lost, Nala. You're still here.
One of the lines that was dropped in Armando's speech was, first it was the marmosets and tarsier monkeys. Then as people realized how quickly they were to learn and how easy it was to train, the pets became larger and larger. They had dropped that line about the smaller monkeys first.
They should have kept
that.
So
when they said replace the ones they had lost, when they realized how quickly they were to learn, the pets became larger and larger. I didn't realize they were talking about we started with small monkeys to move to larger. When they said larger and larger, I was like, did they evolve? Like I really did. I thought like for a second because they dropped the tarsier and marmoset.
They should not have dropped that because it would have made so much more sense because.
It sounds like they evolved.
What we talked about was when we got to Planet of the Apes that these are some kind of almost mutation of slightly human-esque apes. We've talked about that before because their body forms are vastly different.
They have long legs and regular arms.
At least if you'd put in, we started here, went there, they've
smaller
evolved.
pet
yeah,
monkeys.
Because then I could at least buy how these things are because they're humans. They're still humans that are walking badly like simians.
Yeah, because my note here is and consider this yourself, gentlemen. All right, we lose cats and dogs. Does that mean we automatically jump to having monkeys? No. We have birds, we have pigs, we have ferrets, we have horses, we have all sorts of different animals.
But not the otter. Fuck the otter. Those are mean little shits.
But we don't skip right to let's bring in a simian as a pet. We have all sorts of different turtles and stuff. I mean, I like turtles. Have you ever seen that video?
No.
Have you seen that video of that little kid that I like turtles? Oh, okay, I have to show you. Anyways, we have so many pets that we would take in before we would jump to the thing that throws shit at you and rips your face off and your genitals off.
But
it only took 8 episodes
there we
for
go.
us to
I
get
had
Sean
to get
done.
it in there.
How nice would it have been rather than have the rover and the cat pet?
Yeah.
On the memorandum. To have a woman actually walk by with a smaller ape as
a capuchin monkey or something
sitting
on her shoulder.
walk by.
That'd be great.
First it was these, and then it evolved to the larger gorillas, and just say it, gorillas and chimpanzees and orangutans.
Yeah.
And when they realized how human they were and the tasks they could perform, just give us a little bit of that.
I agree.
I would have rather seen the visual of somebody actually having a smaller pet initially to kind of move to this idea that they became functioning.
And almost like they're looked down on because they have
they have
the
smaller
older
pet.
version. Yeah, you got to upgrade your iPhone. You got to upgrade your monkey to get the proper one.
But to be fair, again, it does a very, even though it's very ham-fisted in the way it handles it, conveying what happened. There was a plague brought by the astronauts. Apes and humans were immune, killed all dogs and cats. It's pretty simple. Mm-hmm. Easy to digest, and we move ahead because it's not really crucial to the story to know that, but it's a nice backstory. It's just so.
Here's why.
Yeah.
Here's why. Don't think
want
about
to
it too
here's
hard.
why. You want to find out as though it's part of the mystery, and you eventually find out what happened.
Well, today's storytelling would have done that. Would have not given us this kind of here's the exposition at the beginning.
Well, I think again when we get to the modern films, I think they're much more in line with what we're kind of talking about. How you just give nuggets of information as it goes of why this might have happened, instead of just going here.
And I can already see if they had done this movie now, it would have been you would have seen people with the but the gorillas, chimpanzees. You've seen people with the smaller monkeys, and you'd see and they would look like lower status. You'd see people with a pig or whatever, and they're the poor people. They have not gotten to the gorilla stage yet.
So what you're saying is we want to mix our our Orwellian influences so we can have a 1984 influence, but we're also going to have Animal Farm.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's about it. Richard, you're typing other things. Are you ready to move on?
I'm looking up the next minute stuff. Sorry.
All right.
Wait,
wow.
there's stuff happens tomorrow? What?
Wow. Richard, you're looking into the future, and it hadn't happened yet.
In the year 1991.
All right, that's it for Minute 8. We'll be back tomorrow. Everyone have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
The Minute of the Apes.